if you're solving equations with square roots or cube roots, then you're going to have some similarities, but you're also going to have a couple differences. So let's start with the square roots. Let's say it says x squared equals 9. Well, just like multiplication gets rid of division and addition gets rid of subtraction, the only way to get rid of a square is to square root. So squared is undone by a square root. So to get rid of this square, we're going to have to take a square root. And when we do that, these two kind of go away. And now we're just left with x. But we also have to take the square root of the other side, which is 9. And the square root of 9, if you look at it on your paper, is 3. But this is a square root. And just like we learned from a previous video, square roots always have two answers. They're either positive or they could be negative. So we have to put both in. So let's try another one. So x squared equals 49. I need to get rid of the square, so I'm going to take the square root. But if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. Once I take the square root of a square, these two things eliminate each other, and I'm just left with the x. Now I have to take the square root of 49, and the square root of 49 is 7. So not only is it 7, but it's positive or negative 7. So hopefully that's making sense. Sometimes they'll give you fractions, but each of them are separately a perfect square. For example, 1/4. We're still going to take the square root of each side. This square root will undo that square, and we're still going to get x equals. But when we do this part, we have to break it up into two separate questions. The square root of 1 will be our numerator, and the square root of 4 will be our denominator. Well, the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So our answer is 1/2. But it's not only positive 1/2, it's also negative 1/2. So as long as you have your green sheet, you should be fine with these. And again, your sheet might not be green. When you do cube roots, it's very similar, but we don't take the square root, we take the cube root, which has a little 3 here. And we take the cube root of the other side, which has a little 3 right here. And just like before, the cubed and the cube root eliminate each other, and we're just left with x. And then we need to see what the cube root of 27 is. Notice on the green sheet, the little 3 here, that says cube root. So cubed root of 27 is 3. But here's the thing. It's not positive and negative 3. Cube roots only have one answer. And this one is positive 3. The only way it could have been negative 3 is if the problem had looked like this. Cube root of, x cubed equals negative 27. Then we would have taken the cube root of that, and we would have done all the same work, but we would have got negative 3 as our answer, and not positive 3. The original problem has to be negative for the answer to be negative. If the original problem is positive, then the answer will be positive. Cube roots only have one answer. Let's write that down. Cube roots only have one answer. Okay, so the next video is some practice problems. And if you have any questions, as always, ask.